Hey everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive. Ready to explore something pretty cool today? We're going to be diving deep into Google Ads automation, using all that tech and AI to make your ads work harder for you. We're using excerpts from a guide aptly titled Google Ads Automation. And trust me, this stuff is gold. Whether you're a total newbie or you've been running ads forever, there's something here for everyone. And to help us break it all down, we've got an amazing expert with us.
Hey everybody, super excited to be here.
Now, I know we all know optimizing Google Ads is like rule number one, but remind us why it's so crucial.
Well, you see, optimization is about squeezing every drop of value from your ad spend. We're talking maximum conversions, really getting your business seen, and of course that sweet, sweet ROI. Imagine just throwing money at a campaign with zero adjustments, like throwing darts blindfolded. Maybe you hit the target once in a blue moon, but the odds are slim. Optimization is about taking that blindfold off, aiming right for the bullseye.
Okay, I love that analogy. So when we talk optimization, there's this whole manual versus automated thing. Can you walk us through that?
Manual optimization is like fine-tuning things by hand. You're in control, tweaking bids, adjusting targeting, and testing different creatives. Super hands-on, but let's be real, it can be a time suck. That's where automation swoops in like your super efficient assistant. Think machine learning and algorithms tackling those tedious tasks 24/7.
So it's not like one or the other, right?
Nope. It's all about finding that perfect balance for your needs. Manual's great for precision adjustments, while automation brings the efficiency and scalability.
Makes sense. Okay, before we go further, let's talk about the big elephant in the room, the Google algorithm, that mysterious force behind it all.
Ah, yes. The Google algorithm, a complex beast, but at its core, it's a matchmaker. It wants to connect the most relevant ads to the right people at the right time.
Sounds like a busy algorithm.
It considers tons of factors, like how well your ads match what people are searching for, the quality of your landing page, the bid you're willing to pay, and how fierce the competition is.
So it's a constant juggling act.
You could say that.
Okay, let's say I'm setting up a brand new Google Ads campaign. What's the very first thing I should do?
First things first, you got to have crystal clear objectives. What's the big goal for this campaign? Are you after brand awareness, website traffic, or straight up conversions? Once you lock that in, you can pick the perfect campaign type and bidding strategy to support it.
So it's about having a solid game plan, not just winging it.
Absolutely. And here's where things get interesting. The more info you feed Google Ads, the more personalized and optimized your campaigns become. Think of it like giving a tailor your exact measurements. The more details they have, the better the fit.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. So what kind of information are we talking about here?
We're talking juicy data that helps Google paint a picture of your target audience. Things like demographics, interests, past purchases, even their website browsing history. The more detailed the picture, the better Google can tailor your ads to reach the right folks.
Okay, so we've got the basics down, the importance of optimization, that manual automation balancing act, and of course the all-powerful Google algorithm. Now let's really dig into the nitty-gritty of automation.
Sounds good.
What does it actually mean to automate your Google Ads campaigns?
Automation is like having a super-powered team of assistants working tirelessly behind the scenes. We're talking about automating things like bid adjustments, scheduling those ads, and even crafting ad copy. But hold on, it's not about replacing human brains. It's about using machine learning and algorithms to free you up to focus on the bigger strategic stuff.
So instead of spending hours manually tweaking bids, I can set up rules that automatically adjust them based on certain conditions.
Exactly. These automated rules can be total lifesavers, ensuring your campaigns hum along smoothly, even when you're off conquering the world or, just taking a well-deserved break. And here's the kicker. Automated rules aren't some VIP feature. They're available to every Google Ads account, no matter your budget or experience level.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But how do I know if my automation efforts are actually working? Any tips for setting myself up for success?
Absolutely. You always want to start with crystal clear goals. What do you want automation to achieve? More conversions, a lower cost per click, or something else entirely? Once you've nailed that down, you got to choose the right data points to guide those automated actions. Are you all about clicks, conversions, or something else? And remember, don't just set it and forget it. You got to keep an eye on things. Regularly review performance, make tweaks as needed, experiment with different settings. And don't be shy about tapping into Google's recommendations. They can be super helpful.
Speaking of Google recommendations, I keep hearing that these smart automations, are they really as smart as they sound?
Oh, they're the real deal. These smart automations are powered by machine learning algorithms. They're constantly crunching data, looking for patterns and insights to squeeze every bit of performance out of your campaigns.
So it's like having a team of digital detectives working around the clock.
Exactly. They're all about boosting relevance and increasing those conversions. It's like having a team of experts optimizing your campaigns 24/7.
Wow, this is amazing. Sounds like automation can be a game changer for businesses of all sizes.
It definitely can, but it's not a one-size-fits-all magic bullet. The strategies you use will depend on your goals, budget, industry, and who you're trying to reach. What works for a giant e-commerce company might not be the best fit for a local bakery.
So it's about finding those perfect automation strategies that fit your unique needs.
You got it. And that's what we'll keep exploring as we dive deeper.
Can't wait.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Before we jump ahead, there's one thing we got to talk about. Smart bidding.
Oh yeah, smart bidding. It sounds kind of futuristic. What's the deal with that?
Well, it's basically using the power of machine learning to fine-tune your bids in real time. Instead of setting bids manually, you tell Google your goals, like maxing out conversions, hitting a target cost per acquisition. Or maybe you're aiming for a specific return on ad spend, ROAS. Then those algorithms kick in, analyzing tons of signals and adjusting your bids to help you hit those goals.
So if my goal is to get as many conversions as possible, but stay within a certain budget, smart bidding can handle that.
You got it. And it's not just about bidding higher or lower. Smart bidding looks at a whole bunch of signals, user demographics, what device they're using, location, time of day, even those specific keywords they're searching for. It's like having a team of bidding ninjas working around the clock, making sure you get the most bang for your buck.
Now that's what I call efficiency. It sounds like a lifesaver for businesses that are struggling with manual bidding.
Definitely. Takes the guesswork out of it and lets you focus on the bigger picture. Plus, since it's powered by machine learning, it's constantly learning and improving over time. The more data it gathers about your campaigns and your audience, the better it gets at optimizing those bids.
So it's like having a bidding strategy that's constantly evolving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're probably thinking there must be different types of smart bidding strategies.
You read my mind.
There are. One of the popular ones is target CPA, where you set a specific cost per acquisition that you're comfortable with. Google's algorithms then jump in adjusting your bids to snag you as many conversions as possible at or below that target CPA. Another one is target ROAS, where you set a target return on ad spend. The system works hard to get you the highest possible conversion value while keeping you within your ROAS comfort zone. And if your goal is simply to rack up as many conversions as possible, there's a strategy aptly named maximize conversions.
So if I'm running an online store and I know each sale usually brings in $50, I could set a target ROAS of 500% to get a 5x return on my ad spend.
That's exactly how it works. And the beauty is you can play around with different smart bidding strategies, see what works best for your specific goals and industry.
This smart bidding thing is seriously impressive. Now let's switch gears a bit and talk about something that always fascinates me. Personalization. You know how Google seems to know everything about us these days? Am I just imagining things, or are those ads getting creepily accurate?
I'd say it's a little bit of both. Google's gotten incredibly good at personalizing ads based on all that data they collect. Remember all that info we talked about earlier? Demographics, interests, past purchases, all that feeds into those algorithms, deciding which ads pop up on your screen.
So it's not just about blasting the same ad to everyone anymore. Google's tailoring the message to each individual user.
You got it. And thanks to machine learning, it all happens in the blink of an eye. Those algorithms are constantly analyzing user behavior and tweaking those ads to be as relevant as possible.
It's impressive, but also a little unsettling. As a business owner or marketer, how can I harness this personalization power? How can I make sure my ads are actually hitting the right people with the right message?
Well, it all starts with understanding your target audience, like really getting to know them. Who are they? What keeps them up at night? What are they searching for online? Once you have a clear picture of your ideal customer, you can start creating those laser-focused campaigns that speak directly to their needs.
So it's not just about throwing a bunch of keywords into a campaign and crossing my fingers.
Definitely not. You got to be strategic. Think about those keywords that align with what your audience is actually searching for. Craft ad copy that grabs their attention and speaks to their pain points, and make sure your landing pages deliver a smooth and relevant experience.
It's like creating a perfectly tailored journey for the user, from the moment they hit that search button all the way to becoming a customer.
Exactly. And remember, personalization is an ongoing thing. You got to keep an eye on your campaign performance. Analyze the data and make adjustments. Make sure you're always delivering that top-notch, relevant, and engaging experience.
Now let's get super specific. How does Google personalize ads at the individual level? What kind of signals are they looking for?
Well, Google's algorithm is like a detective. It analyzes a ton of clues. Your location, the device you're using, past searches, websites you've visited, even how you've interacted with ads before. It uses all that to create a detailed profile of you as a user. And then it uses that profile to figure out which ads are going to be the most relevant and engaging to you personally.
So instead of being bombarded with ads for stuff I have zero interest in, I'm more likely to see ads that actually pique my interest.
Bingo! It's a win-win for both advertisers and users. Advertisers get more targeted reach and better conversion rates, while users get ads that are more likely to be helpful and relevant. Now, speaking of tailored experiences, there's one type of campaign I want to highlight: Google Shopping.
Oh yeah, those Google Shopping ads with all the tempting product images, they always get me. What's different about optimizing for Google Shopping?
Unlike those traditional text ads, which rely heavily on keywords, Google Shopping campaigns are all about your product feed. This feed is basically a detailed rundown of all your products, including titles, descriptions, images, prices, availability, you name it.
So instead of obsessing over keywords, I need to make sure my product feed is top-notch for Google Shopping.
You got it. That product feed is your secret weapon. Google uses it to determine how relevant your products are to what people are searching for and to make sure your ads are seen by the right shoppers at the right time.
So if I'm selling handmade jewelry, I need to make sure my product feed has high-quality photos, detailed descriptions of the materials and craftsmanship, accurate pricing, and of course I need to think about those keywords people are using to search for handmade jewelry online.
Exactly. It's all about anticipating what those potential customers are typing into the search bar and making sure your product feed is optimized to match.
And of course, price is always a big factor, right?
Yeah, absolutely. In the online world, price is king. You got to make sure your prices are competitive with other sellers. And don't forget about offering enticing shipping and return policies.
Wow, there's a lot to keep in mind. But I'm starting to see how it all fits together. Now, does Google offer any tools or resources to help us navigate all this optimization stuff?
Oh, they've got you covered. Google offers tons of helpful resources, and one of the best is their recommendations page. It's like having a personal Google Ads consultant in your pocket. It gives you personalized suggestions for improving your campaigns based on all that juicy performance data.
So it's like Google's algorithms are analyzing my campaigns and pointing out areas where I can make improvements.
You got it. It could be anything from optimizing keywords to refining your ad text to adjusting your bids or tweaking your target groups.
Sounds like I need to spend some quality time on my recommendations page.
Definitely. Don't ignore those recommendations. They can make a real difference in your campaign performance.
Now, I've heard about something called a learning period in Google Ads. What's that all about?
The learning period is like a boot camp for your campaigns. It's that crucial phase when you first launch a new campaign or make major changes to an existing one. During this time, Google's algorithms are like sponges, soaking up data and figuring out how your ads are performing. They're testing different bidding strategies, ad placements, and other variables to figure out the best way to optimize things.
So I shouldn't panic if my results aren't amazing right out of the gate.
Exactly. Patience is key during that learning period. You might see some ups and downs in performance as those algorithms do their thing, but once that learning period wraps up, you'll have a much clearer picture of how your campaigns are doing and what tweaks you need to make.
Okay, so the learning period is over. What happens next?
Time to put on your analyst hat and dive into that performance data. Look for patterns, figure out what's working and what needs some love. You might need to adjust bids, refresh your ad creatives, refine your targeting, or tweak your landing pages. The key is to use those data insights to constantly fine-tune your campaigns. Remember, Google Ads isn't a set-it-and-forget-it platform. It's a dynamic beast that needs ongoing attention.
It sounds like a constant cycle of learning, adapting, and optimizing.
You got it. And that's what makes Google Ads so exciting and challenging. There's always something new to discover and new ways to improve.
This deep dive into Google Ads automation has been amazing. We've covered so much from smart bidding and personalization to product feeds and the learning period, but I have a feeling there's even more to uncover, right?
There's always more to explore. Google Ads is constantly evolving, so staying curious and embracing that learning process is how you stay ahead of the game.
Wow, we've covered a ton of ground in this deep dive into Google Ads automation, from smart bidding and those crazy algorithms to personalized Google shopping campaigns. But I gotta admit, I'm still a little intimidated by it all. There's just so much to wrap my head around.
I totally get it. Google Ads can feel like a bit of a jungle, especially with all these automation options. But the key is to remember automation is your friend, not your foe.
That's a good point.
Ah,
I think what sometimes throws me off is this feeling like I have to surrender all control to the robots. You
oh.
know, like if I'm not in there micromanaging every single bid, I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, I hear that a lot, and it's a valid concern. But here's the thing. You're still the captain of the ship. You set those big goals, define your target audience, and make those strategic decisions about your campaigns. Automation is just there to handle those tedious, repetitive tasks, freeing you up to focus on the bigger picture.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. So it's not about replacing human smarts with artificial intelligence. It's about finding that sweet spot where they work together.
Exactly. It's a collaboration. You bring your knowledge about your business, your customers, and your marketing goals. Google's automation tools bring their data crunching power and ability to optimize on the fly. Combine those forces, and you've got a winning team.
I like that analogy. Takes the pressure off feeling like I need to be a tech whiz.
For sure. And that brings me to a really important point I want to leave our listeners with. Don't be afraid to experiment.
Oh, I like that.
Google Ads is constantly evolving. There are always new bells and whistles, new strategies to try. So embrace that spirit of trying new things. Test out different bidding strategies, play around with new ad formats, see what happens when you tweak those automation settings.
Sometimes you just got to shake things up. It's so easy to get stuck in doing things the same old way.
Exactly. And the best part about Google Ads is you can track everything. So if something doesn't work out, you can learn from it and adjust your approach.
The data is your guide.
Okay.
It's a great point. As we wrap up this deep dive into Google Ads automation, what are some key takeaways you hope our listeners will remember?
Well, first, I hope they'll remember that optimization is essential, but it doesn't have to be a headache. Automation can be a real lifesaver, especially as your campaigns grow and get more complex. Secondly, I hope they'll really embrace the power of personalization. Being able to tailor your message to each individual user is huge, and every business should be taking advantage of it. And lastly, I hope they'll always stay curious, keep learning, and never stop experimenting.
Those are some awesome takeaways. This has been such an insightful journey, and I feel so much more equipped to tackle Google Ads automation now.
Glad to hear it. It's been fun diving in with you.
And to all our listeners out there, happy optimizing. We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.